Hi, and welcome to this Payroll in Excel series for 2022. Today we're going to talk about the state of Oklahoma. They have already updated their rates for 2022, so even here in mid to late December 2021, we can do a video about Oklahoma and talk about what rate changes they have made. I was recently in Oklahoma. I was all the way from Tulsa to Bryan's Corner, driving through. I'm a big fan of Oklahoma, very calming state. I like Oklahoma a lot. So, those of you who are clients of mine in Oklahoma, this video will help you understand the tax reductions really that have occurred in Oklahoma this year compared to last year, and everything you need to do to create a pay stub and keep track of payroll in Oklahoma for your employees. So this payroll file works for all 50 states, and I'll be doing videos about every state, but let's go through Oklahoma right now. When you're on the employee info sheet, and you're entering information about your employee, you're putting in their name. You can put in their social security number if you'd like to. Did they fill out a more recent W-4 from 2020, 2021, or 2022? Not the old W-4, but the new one. I've talked about that in another video. If they have, hopefully they should. At this point, you should have them filling out a new W-4, even if they haven't. Are they married? What state are we in? We're in Oklahoma. How many allowances do they have on the Oklahoma W-4? You would put that number here. You don't need any of this information. I don't know of any local taxes in Oklahoma jurisdictions at all. So you don't need to see any of this stuff. You do need to fill out an Oklahoma filing status of either single or married. It's going to ask you that. And then you have the questions about your federal W-4 that you would answer here. And in this version, I've also added information about accruing for PTO hours. If you accrue PTO hours per pay period or per hour, you can put that amount here, and any beginning balance of paid time off or leave that your employee might have, you can put that there as well. And I'll show you how to use that going forward. So after you fill out everything, you can put in daily hours for your employees in this sheet, or you can put in everything by pay period. We're looking at a bi-weekly version of this file right now, but it is completely dynamic, and you can change pay period frequencies to weekly, semi-monthly, monthly, and however many periods there are in the year, and however many days after your pay period that you issue the paycheck. You can make all those changes dynamic, but we're just looking at a bi-weekly version right now. And you can see that all the information we've entered has yielded some amount of money that is going to be considered compensation and taxed. So, well, what has Oklahoma done this year? We can look at the Oklahoma section of this of the file and show you what the Oklahoma tax rates actually are and the formula that you could use to write them. So basically, you have a standard deduction amount of $1,000 per amount deduction that they have put on their Oklahoma W-4. That's going to create an amount that comes out of their annualized taxable income. You multiply their gross wages for the pay period times the number of pay periods in the year. We're looking at a biweekly version, so it's actually 27 periods in this pay period this year, because there are actually 27 that fit in this 365-day year coming up. So you put the number of pay periods, then you have this annualized amount that's going to be getting taxed. So what is the rate? Well, there's one table for a single, and there's one table for married. And the one thing of note is this is a nested if formula that takes a look at what the threshold of income is and then multiplies it by the correct tax rate. Basically, they dropped percentages from, I believe, it was like 0.5% down to 0.25% for the lowest level. Then there was 1% down to 0.75%. It was basically looks like 0.25% reduction on most of the levels of income. So it is going to be slightly less expensive in terms of state tax withholding in Oklahoma this year compared to last year. And the same logic also applied to the married version of the same nested if formula, just different thresholds, amounts of money, tiers of money that get taxed, but the tax rates essentially effectively are the same reduced tax rates for single and for married. So that's basically the formula. Then it figures out whether or not you're married or single and gets the correct withholding amount. All this information then makes it really easy for you to keep track of everything for your payroll cycle. Here's an example of the paychecks. You just go here and you change the paycheck date or change the employee name if we had any other employees in here. And you're going to get all the information you need: gross wages, federal tax withheld, Social Security withheld, Medicare withheld, and state of Oklahoma tax withheld. we've got dependent care benefits also that is now added into this file. forgot I put that in there. That's over here to the right. That's in another video I did. But dependent care benefits actually got raised at the end of 2021. So if you do have to pay for child care expenses and things that qualify, that's hanging out over here, and that can be tax-free reimbursement essentially for those expenses. So it can be very beneficial for you as an employee, even though this video is not about that. So I just removed them from the pay stub just to make this a little easier to look at. But we've also got our paid time off, hours accrued, and whatever the balance is as well. And yeah, that's pretty much what we've got here. So that's what Oklahoma has done, is it has reduced the rates slightly. Those are the new formulas. This payroll file really can help out if you're running a small business and you want to organize all your information and want to be able to generate reports quickly. So if you have any questions or you want a copy of this file, subscribe to the lifetime subscription where you can get the most recent and tax compliant version of the file as I continually update this for all states and all the time in perpetuity. You can go to kenbraverman.com. It's very relatively inexpensive, in my opinion, to get a product that does all this stuff. So that is Oklahoma. If you get a chance to visit Oklahoma, you'll probably have a good time. At least I have. So good luck. Payroll should be easy, so make it so.